welcome everybody, and thanks for joining today. Hopefully you'll see something here that you like and invest in us. Look, I guess you may as well go to the next one. Everybody knows why we're here. Okay, look, this is really just a quick snapshot of what the company is. We're an ASX listed company. We've got 590 million shares on issue. Current market cap is 5.3 mil. Enterprise value is around 4 mil. Look, it's very cheap, obviously, right at the moment. Out of, I think, all the people that are speaking today, I think we're probably the lowest market cap company. And I think that's because people don't really understand what we've got. But just going on with the company, we're a three-man board. Colin Locke is a non-exec chairman, Dave Palumbo, Tim Hogan are non-execs, and then myself as a management team, CEO, with enough experience there to be dangerous, I guess. So I think everybody can see, hopefully everybody will be able to see by the end I finish this, there is an opportunity for investment into this company. I'll go to the next slide. Okay, look, this is just really before we jump in, this is a field camp that's out there currently at the Zopkhito Project. We really see this as, there's three main reasons why we believe this is, a massive opportunity for the company. It's got fantastic grade. We've got a very large, substantial database of exploration being undertaken historically, and there's massive blue sky opportunity here as well. Go to the next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Look, I guess why Zopkhito? Simply put, I think there's about 26,000 tonnes of Y, and you top that off with an additional 800,000 plus ounces. It's more like why not to me. So as you can see, we've got a very high grade ore body. The foreign estimates that are being done are over 12% antimony, and there's also one that's been done which is a 3.7 gram per tonne gold. So major resources. Look, we've also got extensive growth potential on the upside. We're located in the gateway of Europe and Asia. Demand is increasing in these zones, we know. So we see this as an outcome for us going forward. And again, we've had extensive exploration undertaken on this. And I guess we're not really in exploration here. We're really into a pre-development stage. It's not quite brownfields. We don't have a plant in place, but we're very, very close to that sort of facilities. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, just on the project, look, we're located in the upper regions of Georgia, in the Krakatoa area. License is about 1,800 hectares. It's a current exploration and it's a mining license as well. It's long term. The project historically has been explored by the Soviet and some other companies, but I guess what we know is we've got 27 kilometres of underground exploration it's already in place. So, I listened to what Hillgrove said before, and they've got less than that in development. So, we're very, very fortunate to have that in place. We've also got an extensive database. So far, we've got 15,000 geochemical samples. There's a lot more coming through. We've also got 2 resource estimates, which I've hinted, and more recently there's been some LiDAR work and IP geophysics, which I'll allude to a bit soon. So as a project, we have the opportunity to acquire up to 80% of this project, which is a major thing, and obviously we'll be looking to aggressively advance the project over our option period, which is a 2-year period all up. Next slide, please. Foreign resource, look, all up, it's a high-grade resource. It's a Russian resource that were done. It's 26,000 tonnes as I'm illuminated, 12% antimony, 80,000 plus ounces of gold. And both these were actually done in 2007, 2008 by Eastern Mediterranean Resources, just after they actually decided to go into the Rio Tinto mine in Spain as their primary focus. As you can see, there's a 3D model there. They're the main veins that have been explored. There's 17 in total there, but there's actually over 60 in the whole part. Next slide, please, Andrew. Okay, project geology, very simple here. I won't go right into this, but yeah, we're part of the Caracas thrust belt. It's a very highly prospective area, part of the terrain metallogenic belt. It's a major sort of very fertile belt. It's got a lot of deposits already mined in these areas or in this belt. So we're very fortunate in that. On a local level, obviously, it's a narrow quartz. It's an orogenic narrow quartz, stibnite veins, which are obviously hosted in the carbonaceous shales and slates. But additionally to that, which has been found in more recent times, is been that there is an alteration zone which is very, very gold rich, which is actually into the hanging wall and the footwalls of this system. Next slide, please. So I guess this slide is really the key to where I think we are, and what really separates us from our peers. Really are the impressive grades that we do have here. It is a narrow vein system, and we do know that the antimony is focused only within that vein system, the quartz antimony vein system. It does carry gold. We believe this project is actually an antimony project with gold credits, but whereas most other projects, as we're starting to see, is they're really gold projects with antimony credits. So, look, we do know there is an extensive gold system here as well, and as you can see, they've got some very high grades. Now, those footwall and hanging wall grades, the actual alteration zone does extend past that. There hasn't been any drilling on this project, so this is all taken from underground inside the adits. And those distances are restricted in what they can actually take. So we believe there's a great extensive opportunity here, blue sky opportunity really to advance on that. Next slide, please. There's been some metallurgy test work being undertaken in the last 10 years here. Look, what that has really shown us is that by a standard simple flotation and one cleaning stage, we can get a 56% antimony concentrate, and with that also it captures a lot of the gold which comes out into the tails and the actual arsenopyrite rougher con at the end. So it doesn't get associated with the antimony. It's a separate thing, and therefore obviously the opportunity lies in that to actually try to extract the gold from these parts, and that will just optimize the whole situation even further. Okay, so other than I guess unlocking the gold in this system, we've got a lot of other blue sky opportunity. During our initial review, we identified areas which were very open for additional discoveries. You can see in this image here that there's basically the ore or the veins sat into the side of the mountain there, and there's IP geophysics that were undertaken over top of the scree line. And beneath that scree line, we've just put the announcement out on this last week. There's actually conductances, and we do envisage that these are continuations of these high-grade zones, sulfide zones going between underneath the scree. So there's also areas between the adits. There hasn't been any drilling undertaken here, so we know that there's the opportunity there between those adits. So once we undertake the drilling, we'll start to underside and reveal what's there. And we also know that there's only 17 veins that have actually been explored so far within this system, which is over 60 veins that have been mapped and reported. So there's a huge blue sky for us to start to delve into later into the year. Next slide, please, Andrew. Yeah, look, I guess the development stage, we've just completed a full review of the data. Look, we're now designing the upcoming exploration program for 2025. We do believe, this is the steps that we'll be undertaking. It'll include additional mapping. Obviously, we'll look at undertaking maiden drilling initially, as soon as we can, and then obviously continue with the metallurgical work and start, revealing what's installed for there. And I guess the whole aim of this is really, during our option period, is to bring this into a JORC compliant mineral resource, and obviously advance to a PEA, PFS level studies to make a decision on the acquisition of this. And then if it's positive, look to fast track it into mining. Next slide, please. Okay, Georgia. Look, not many people are very familiar with Georgia. It's sort of one of those forgotten lands. And just to illuminate everybody, it is a very mining-friendly country. It does have a very well-skilled workforce. It's got developed mine infrastructure. It's run under a European legal framework. And I guess more importantly is that, it does have, strategic trade agreements with its neighbours and also between Europe and Asia. It's got trade agreements with China, Turkey, other CIS countries, the European FTA, Hong Kong. It's also got other agreements in place with the USA, Canada, Japan. So we're talking about all the markets that we sort of need to feed into as we go forward. Next slide, please. I'll move on. So look, in summary, just to give you a good idea, I guess we have an option agreement on this. We've got a 2-year period, initial 12 months, and then a 12-month extension, and then look to acquire 80% of this project. It is a world-class project. It's got the high grade. It's been well explored already, so we're not starting from scratch. We know it's got simple processing already undertaken, so it's very amenable to these solutions. And we also know that the infrastructure, from getting this product or products into the port of Poti, where there's already an established, copper and gold concentrate being exported from, is quite viable. Next slide, please. Look, I guess in summary, we believe this project is well positioned for growth and success. It's very high grade antimony and associated gold resources. It's got extensive mineralisation system, and obviously the expansion potential is massive. It could double, if not even further. So, we look at this as a de-risked sort of development pathway for the company. So it's got all the bones, to be a very successful opportunity for us and our shareholders. And we obviously think that there will be great benefits for the shareholders as they come along the ride for us. And I'll leave it there if you go to the next slide.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks, Mark. We do have a couple of questions that have come through. Mark, are you able to just reiterate what's the quality of the existing data on the project, and how will you convert it to JORC standards?
Look, obviously JORC you need to drill. Okay, it's an understanding. Majority of the data that we do have are from channel samples which were being taken under, through these exploration adits. When the Soviets undertook the exploration drives back in the 50s, 30s, right through the 50s and up into the 70s, they actually were sampling the face as they were mining, let's say, and they were doing it perpendicular, so they were taking real live samples. After that, there was the current company who's got the ownership of this. They came in and done some other confirmatory samples. They were actually sampling the full face, so not just the antimony vein. They were sampling the other veins, and obviously there was gold associated in that. So look, the quality of the data, the Russian data or the Soviet data is some of the best mapping and data that I've seen. Okay, in its format, and it's all handwritten. It's all beautiful to the finite detail. So we've had SRK on this, and they've gone through and they've worked their magic and been able to pull out this. So we just completed pretty much a gap analysis on this data.
Finally, Mark, just can you just provide a very quick overview why this project is compelling over other antimony projects?
Look, I think where we are with the project, it's not exploration. We're basically making this a JORC. With even half the size of what we've got, we get this into JORC. We've already well advanced into, say, the processing side of things as well. But what I guess the other understanding of this as well is the gold potential here as well. And then there's the blue sky opportunity. So for me, it's a no-brainer. It's got all the hallmarks to be probably one of the biggest deposits in the world. When it comes to antimony.